Hi, I'm Nate, and this is Vikki, and we're with the Mindset team.
Hi.
Today we're going to go a bit more in depth about the challenges of changing your mindset because we were talking and we were realizing I was thinking that people generally don't like change, which is simple and obvious enough, which got me thinking, well, maybe people like being miserable. And Vikki says, not so much.
But they don't know. It's not that they like being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know that they are because it's the way it is.
So people don't know they're miserable?
Right.
How do people not know they're miserable?
Because they just know that it's the way it is.
Oh.
I mean, if they have grown up all of their life eating McDonald's or eating something that's bad for them.
Okay.
Okay, let's say that every day, take me for instance. Okay. Every day of my life when I was younger, I drank a 6-pack of Pepsi.
Okay.
That's what I drank. I didn't know at the time that it was bad for me. It was just the way it was. Okay. I drank the Pepsi.
Okay.
I didn't think about drinking water, but I wasn't miserable drinking it.
So you didn't know you were missing out on other health opportunities by having that much sugar and that much lack of
and
hydration.
Caffeine and hydration and all those things. I didn't know that.
So I would have said, oh, you look happy being miserable. Clearly you're continuing your behavior and you just didn't know any differently.
Right. And most people don't know that they're miserable.
So most people that are actually watching this are unhappy in some sort of way and don't know it?
Yes. Yes.
Or unhappy in some way and do know it.
Right.
I mean, that's
Either
always
way.
a possibility
Right.
you've found us so far.
Correct.
Okay.
But like me, I didn't know that drinking that many Pepsis was going to be harmful.
So could I have come along and just say, hey, you should drink a whole lot of water, you'd be better off, right?
No.
That would just work.
But I wouldn't do it.
Why not?
Because I don't have it. Because my fear of changing that behavior and changing that whole pattern
just became part of life.
Right, is scary. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I have to give up my Pepsi? Oh no, what am I going to drink?
So
how am I going to live? How am I going to survive without that morning adrenaline at 6 a.m?
So it became a whole series of things all tied into that, and the fear of change became far greater than the realization of what the benefit would be, even if I came along and gave you the benefit.
Right, exactly right.
Okay, so fear of change is worse than any reality.
Yes.
So no matter how bad things are, change is always perceived as worse.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now, granted,
all right.
Once you can change your thoughts around that change is bad.
Okay, so so you're saying that the example we could use here is that change itself is not necessarily bad.
No, it's always good. Change is always good.
But it's terrifying.
But it's always good.
Why would I be scared of something that's good?
Because we don't know that it's good.
So
it's a very much of a catch-22.
Okay.
Truly. It's a cat chasing its tail. If you want to change it.
I like that example very much.
Because a lot of people don't know what catch-22 is.
Okay, so it's a cat chasing its own tail.
Exactly right.
Of the fear of change.
Yes.
Stopping me from actually doing the changing.
Yes.
Because the change seems worse than any possible benefit I could possibly get being good.
Exactly right. And the thing is that I won't say it's always good because that's dependent. But I can say that 95% of the change that people make are good changes.
And the rest of them lead to a better place anyway, because who would intentionally make a decision to do something to make themselves worse off later?
Right. They wouldn't change something to make them worse.
So really, what we can do by changing the mindset around change itself is open people up to be ready to actually turn their lives in a new direction.
Yes. And new patterns and new actions.
So really, whenever the discomfort of the way things are becomes worse than the idea of change, then change actually happens.
That's correct.
And that's what we do is we take down that barrier a lot. So the barrier to changing gets lower and lower and lower, and the idea of change gets easier and easier and easier. So things pop over in the other direction and change happens fairly naturally and easily.
But the thing is that not only are we changing and we don't realize it. Okay. We're helping people to change. We're teaching them.
So they change and they don't realize it.
Right.
Okay.
But it's not scary the way we do it because we do it in very small increments.
Little bits at a time.
Exactly right. So it's not like all of a sudden you're going to come to us and tomorrow you're going to be from, brown hair, you're going to go into purple, and then I'm going to
Okay,
not
so
gonna be
let's
that
say you're a
drastic.
hobbit marching toward Mount Doom, right? Mount Doom would be big, giant, and scary, but a step toward Mount Doom isn't really that big a deal.
Right.
So it's like that. It's one step at a time. I
one
mean,
step.
not that Mount Doom is
It's-
the appropriate analogy here, because it's actually a good change. Change is a good thing, but
Right.
there you go.
But it's one thought at a time.
Okay.
And if you can change one thought, then you change one action, and one action accumulative is changing an entire life.
Here's a good analogy for that, right? So for right here, I'm standing at my table. If I'm pointing this way, it's not that big a difference from this way. See the little difference right there? You can
I
barely
see
notice
that
it at the
difference.
table. But project this line out 500 miles. This way is Toledo, that way is New York, and that way is Tampa. Like, it's little tiny changes here, but the end direction is completely different. And that's what a little change at this moment in your life can do.
Right. Or going this way
Yeah.
is, New York, and going this way is England.
All right. Well, there we go. We'll talk to you again later. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.